Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and you know what, I just realized I'm actually wearing my glasses. Not that many times do you see me wearing my glasses, but whatever. But today for you guys, we're going to talk about something that I've heard a lot of comments on my videos recently, and just in general in the YouTube community. And now that I understand link summoning better, there's something I just want to discuss and talk about. The thing I've been hearing a lot about is actually that a lot of people say they're going to quit the game of Yu-Gi-Oh because their deck is dead. They don't want to buy new product because they feel that they need to buy new product to play link summoning. And I've heard a lot of people say this and express their opinions over the course of the last 4 or 5 days since link summoning was announced in the OCG, and I believe we did get an announcement that it would be coming to us, and most likely it will in the form of a starter deck. The new rulings and everything will be coming to us sometime in July or June or August. Sometime we'll be getting a starter deck with a new rule book, new rulings, new everything to us. So the reasons why is pretty much, the thing is I've heard is a lot of people want to quit because of these reasons, these new changes. And I've heard throughout the course of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, be it the end of the original anime and the start of the GX era, people said they were going to quit then, literally, if you were around back then, because they thought Yu-Gi-Oh was going to end very soon because the original show ended. People thought Yu-Gi-Oh wouldn't last more than a year or two more, so people started selling a lot of their stuff they had. I remember that distinctly back then. Number two, people, in the GX, when the Synchro era started, were scared, they didn't know what was happening. They wanted to quit Yu-Gi-Oh then. A lot of people said they were going to quit Yu-Gi-Oh. People said the same thing about Exceeds. People said the same thing about Pendulums. And people are saying the same thing now with link summoning, and people will continue to say it with that when the next thing comes out. Now, me being an old school player like I am, and kind of like a grandpa, I guess you could say in a way, even though I'm only 27 years old almost. I'll be 27 this year actually, but I'm 26 currently, but I'll be 27 soon. I always felt like even though the game's changed, we need to learn and adapt and not just be upset for the direction Yu-Gi-Oh is going. Yes, we can be upset with Konami, but if you really love this game, you wouldn't quit Yu-Gi-Oh, correct? If you really love Yu-Gi-Oh, you would stay in Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, it's a great thing to love what Yu-Gi-Oh was, like I do. I love what Yu-Gi-Oh was. I love the past formats. I love before, there was Exceeds or Synchros, or when there was just Synchros, or when, Pendulums, Exceeds, and Synchros were doing all those crazy things. I love Yu-Gi-Oh for what it was. But you can't always live in the past. You have to live in the here and now, because the past is the past for a reason. It is great to enjoy the past, to look back on the past, but you need to learn in the here and now. Yu-Gi-Oh is changing. It will always change. The meta is always changing. The meta is always evolving. It is evolving and changing more than it has ever in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh. Literally, I know the meta in general did not change a lot before DN. Back before DN was a thing, the meta in the game didn't, the meta didn't change that much. Now it changes daily, weekly, monthly. It changes. What deck is the best? What deck is not the best? It changes all the time, and it also changes because we're always getting new product coming out. So the game is always changing, even if you've been playing. And just because a new mechanic is changing the game the way of Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't mean that mechanic's bad. Okay? It just means it's another thing that makes Yu-Gi-Oh Yu-Gi-Oh. And even though I've said, well, that's not Yu-Gi-Oh and things of that nature about link summoning, yeah, that's true. I mean, we've never had a restriction on special summoning from our extra deck ever. But you look at link summoning, if you really understand how it works properly, you'll understand that. And you can actually understand that there's ways that it doesn't really hinder you. When your opponent puts a link monster out, you get a special summon zone sometimes. So you get 2 special summon zones. It's not always that case. If there's an arrow pointing at your field, that means that you get a special summon as well, from what I understand. So it's not all, bad, link summoning is really. Once you understand it more, how it actually works and everything. And people that keep saying they're going to quit the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, well, if you really love it, why are you still, why are you still playing it now? I mean, why would you quit just because something new happens? I mean, you should love Yu-Gi-Oh for what it is and what it was. And even if you're a new player coming into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And you don't understand the past of Yu-Gi-Oh! To understand the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to understand the past of Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to read the whole book. You know, when you read a book, do you just read the beginning and the end and that's all? No. You read everything, right? And to understand Yu-Gi-Oh! And to love Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to know all of Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't need to love all of it. You don't need to love Teledad format. You don't need to love Clefort Demise. But you need to understand all of it. Correct? So that's some of my thoughts, guys. And I'm very strong about my opinions. And if you have different opinions, that's perfectly fine, and you have the right to those opinions. But these are my opinions, and I feel very strongly about them because I don't like it when I keep hearing people say, well, I'm going to quit because of this or that. You know, format. It's okay to take a break from the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's perfectly fine. You know, me, I'm going to still play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But I'm probably really going to get into it when Link Summoning comes out, because everything between now and then is going to be 2 different games, 2 different metas. Yes, it's 5 months in between. I'll still do deck profiles. I'm still going to do that. But I'm going to be talking about Link Summoning at the same time. How this deck can work with Link Summoning. How can this do this with that? You know, how decks are not going to... decks that people think are going to be dead are probably not going to be dead when Link Summoning comes out. I mean, people, I think, have gotten in this mindset the way the game's been lately, you know, over the last couple of years. We think of the present. We don't think of the future. We don't think of the past. We think of the present, which is a good thing, yes. I'm not going to say, you know, thinking of the here and now is good, but you also have to understand that nobody really, I've never heard anybody say they like having to face an unbreakable board, and that's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Has kind of become, right? With Link Summoning, that won't be that much of the case, probably. That may be somewhat of a thing, yes. There will be good monsters. There will be monsters that will be hard to get over. That is a given. But I don't think it'll be as easy as it has been to go unbreakable board, break my board. I mean, raw sphere mode, you know, type of deal. I mean, I don't foresee that in the early part of Link Summoning. And the Link Summoning will change and evolve, and, you know, probably by this time next year, we'll be all used to Link Summoning. And even if you just play casually and you don't even play competitively, and try things out, try new things. I mean, when I try new food out, I don't just say, I don't want that food, it looks awful. Try it, you know? So that's what I'm going to say, you know, if we never try new things out, then how do we know if they're good or bad? Right? And why can't we, if we say we love Yu-Gi-Oh!, then why don't we enjoy all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That it has to offer, all the good things and bad things all wrapped together in one. So those are just my thoughts, guys, on the reasons why you shouldn't quit the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And why you should embrace Yu-Gi-Oh! And new things in Yu-Gi-Oh! To some degree. So those are just my thoughts, guys, and I don't know how to quite end this video, but yes, tell me your thoughts down below. I mean, tell me your thoughts down below, guys, on this topic I discussed, you know, your opinions on it. I'd love to discuss things, you know, and these are some reasons I feel like why you shouldn't quit the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And why you should enjoy the things of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's going to be a learning thing for all of us, but we will all learn together, right? As a community, we will all learn together this new mechanic and how to make it broken and things of that nature, you know, probably, with time goes on. And I think even though it is a somewhat soft reset on the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, it will make the game more enjoyable. It will make the game more interesting. And like I said, new product will come out that will probably support older decks. It always happens in some way, shape, or form. Older decks always get indirect support. So don't be surprised maybe a year and a half from now when we're able to play summon Quasar normally again because Konami came out with something that makes synchros good and you're able to play your fun decks, you know, again. So most likely that's probably going to happen. Just give it time and everything works out. You know, time helps with many things in life, be it the loss of a person or Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution. You know, time helps. And no matter, even though we may not like what Konami does, Konami's going to keep doing what they want to do. And I think they do have, at the end of the day, the interest of Yu-Gi-Oh! At heart, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is making them money, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, they've done Yu-Gi-Oh! For freaking, what, this is the 20th anniversary for Yu-Gi-Oh in Japan and the 15th anniversary for Yu-Gi-Oh in, you know, what, the TCG here? 15 years, 16 years kind of now. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is going to die anytime soon, even with a new mechanic. I highly, highly doubt it. And Yu-Gi-Oh, if you've been paying attention, has been getting more and more and more popular as time has gone on in the last year or so. We've had record attendance at different places, so I don't see Yu-Gi-Oh dying, so it's not going to be dying either. So the game's going to continue to grow and be more interesting and diverse. And yeah, it's going to be fun to be along for the ride. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. I do apologize, as I probably repeated myself in this video and did ramble a bit, but I wanted to definitely express myself and make sure you guys understood the reasons why you shouldn't quit the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.